These shirts are extremely rare. They sell on eBay all the time. Very hard to find, but when you do find them, definitely hold out to get all the money for these types of shirts. This is about as demonic as I'm gonna make the lighting for this video because most of these shirts have something to do with just evil, death,
demons.
First up, we have this vintage Ozzy Osbourne. Now, this is the tattoo all over print 1992. This thing is incredible. What I can say about this is look at all the colors. First off, most shirts that sell that are band tees are going to be black. But if you find a bunch of color on it where black is the base color, like this shirt right here, you're going to be able to sell it for a lot of money. Next up, Nirvana. Nirvana is so iconic. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana. I mean, probably one of the most popular bands of all time. This is just their one with the baby swimming in the pool, and it's incredible shirt. Most of these are going to be from the 90s, single stitch, sometimes a little bit earlier. Single stitch, I've talked about it before. It's whenever it's one stitch on the sleeve, it'll be on the bottom hem of the shirt as well. Pink Floyd. I love the song Money by Pink Floyd. This one, I mean, look at it. It's a giant head with its mouth open with like another
head inside it, with another head inside it, with another head inside it.
Almost like those Russian stacking dolls where it's just one after another after another. Kind of take note. If it's a very popular brand, if it's an old shirt, if it's got some crazy graphic that you've never seen or like it's jaw-dropping or just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, it's probably going to sell for a lot of money. Now we have Soundgarden. Soundgarden is great. This one, it's a little more muted. It's more of just a squared off. You know, they have the crazy looking font right there. This is Grateful Dead, probably one of the bigger hitters in the vintage band tee market. Grateful Dead is, it's like that trippy stuff, you know, and a lot of people like it. A lot of people are out there, you know, getting on that level. So this one, it's a space themed one. There's stuff going on all over the place. Great graphics. Like I said, all over print is AOP when you see it in the listing. That's going to be all over print. It's a very, very popular thing. And it doesn't even have to be just band tees. It can also be like cartoons or pop culture, anything like that from the 90s and earlier. And now even being like the early 2000s are going to bring you a little bit of profit. Here's Radiohead. This one's real basic. It's just a head of this crazy looking baby with its bloodshot eyes. Rock and roll, metal, like that type of music. Those are the shirts that are selling. We got Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins, super popular. This is the white one. And white ones do well too, but they will discolor some. Now, don't be afraid if you find one of these shirts that have discoloring, paint, holes. None of that stuff matters. Like the stains and stuff, it's going to hurt the value some, but you're definitely going to get a lot of money for it because there's not any more of these out there. They're not being made. If they are, it's a repop. One thing I do want to talk about is look how thick the collar is. Not the collar like pop your collar, but like the crew neck line collar. That is super thick on older shirts. They did that just because, I mean, it just how they did it. Now they're making it more and more of a lower profile. Be noticeable of the thickness of the neckline. And whenever you're in a thrift store, if you bunch all those shirts up together on the rack, you can just look at the collar like on the necklines to see which ones are thicker. That one's probably going to be vintage. Rage Against. Love Rage Against. Now this is a long sleeve crew neck, still sold for a lot of money just because it's a great band. This one has a bunch of nuns holding weapons, so pretty cool. These types of shirts aren't for everybody, you know. A lot of them have pretty aggressive themes, and I can see why it really like it's like a counterculture slash like
stand against the man type thing
going on with a lot of these. You know, they have a lot of passion in it, and that's why it speaks so much to people because it absolutely does push buttons and it impacts people's lives and it changes how people feel, and that's what gives it this much value. This one was Cro-Mags Down. I don't know this band. I guess this was a tour t-shirt. It is double-sided. Sometimes people will say double-sided when there's a graphic on the front and back. Not really sure, but it kind of falls in line, right? It's a black short sleeve shirt. Vintage. It's from 89. It's going to be single stitch 100% of the way. So even if you aren't sure if it matches those criteria, put it in your cart and definitely take a look. You might not be able to find like quick comps on these, but just try to like trust your instincts when you're looking at these shirts. Marilyn Manson. This is going to be like a no-brainer just because Marilyn Manson is super iconic. This has the sleeves chopped. Now some people will put chopped in the title. That just means the sleeves are cut off. Do not let it deter you. It will take some of the money off, but I mean, look at this. This is the craziest looking snake head Marilyn Manson shirt I've ever seen. I mean, it's incredible, like the time and effort they put into this type of art. And maybe with like AI art, people will start to bring back some of these crazy looking styles and kind of advance from it, because you just don't see it very often. But it might also be because just the culture, people don't want their kids wearing this type of stuff. That could also be a thing too. Misfits, plenty of misfits walking around. This is a white one. Now I do want to say the white ones will yellow. I had mentioned that before in this video, but I do want to note that this type of square graphic as well on the white shirt, like that's a very popular look for a lot of these shirts. I don't think they command as much money as the Oliver prints, but it kind of has that, you know, Spencer's type band t-shirt that, you know, they do all the time now. This is definitely the older style of how they did it, but it's another indicator that it could be old if it has this style. Motley Crue. Now this is a blue shirt, so a lot of them are black. This one's more of a blue color. Like a navy blue. It's got the
Got the pentagram on the front.
It's got the skull. Anything with like skulls, demons, evil. I mean, it's probably gonna be some money there at the thrift store. Then we got Red Hot Chili Peppers, and this one, it's on the giant tag. Now I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of different tags that these could be on, and that is a big indicator of age of a shirt. Dramarama. I hadn't heard of Dramarama, but whenever I saw this one, I thought of, you know, Rockstar, Daily Refinement, Drama. So I decided to put it in the video. I mean, why not? This has got the hippie look. It's a person sitting inside a hand chair, and it's like pink and purple. So just because it's not black, if it does have that hippie vibe, there's a chance that it can be pretty good. Next, we got System of a Down. Another disturbing graphic on this one. It's all pink and gross looking. But yeah, black t-shirt, 90s. Rock, metal. I mean, that's what we're looking for in these types of shirts. And one thing to note with like these black shirts is sometimes they can be dry rotted. Dry rot is a thing that happens to vintage shirts whenever, I believe it's when they're not taken care of or they just sat too long. Or maybe they got a little damp or something like that. But yeah, it ends up just feeling like you can tear it apart. Not a big expert on it. You can check out like a Rally Roots video. I know that guy gave a good explanation on what dry rot is. So definitely check his channel out. He can probably give you a better explanation because he lives in this vintage market. I myself am not an expert at this vintage stuff, but I am learning a lot with this video and with your guys' comments. So I really appreciate you guys kind of calling me out for the Farm Aid on my last video. Not, you know, I called the Farm Aid a brand, but it's actually like a concert. So that's kind of what inspired me to make this video right here. I think it's great. These graphics are incredible, and I just hope to find one of these shirts, like even just once a year. I'd be really happy with that. Rob Zombie. I mean, the dude he's incredible. His music's great, but look at that, like, coloring of the blue and stuff. Now this is a bit newer, being 1999. Some of these other ones were early 90s, you know, 80s. Incredible photo. Like, just even looking at it on the screen makes me want to, like, well, it makes me want to like hide under my bed because it is terrifying, but you can just oozing profit whenever I see something like this. Sonic Youth, it has that same square you can see. So we're looking at something like that. And look how wrinkled and tattered it is. And this was taken outside on the grass. A lot of these shirts I noticed did not have great photo setups. They don't need it. You don't need a great photo setup when you're dealing with like a $400 shirt. And if I had no comps, no clue what to sell it for, and I didn't want to run an auction, I'd put 199 bucks, like minimum. And if it was a black shirt, I'd probably bump it up another 100. It just depends. And you'll start getting offers in. That's why I always say to like put offers on your listings, because if you're not sure what the price needs to be, the offers will start coming in around the same price. Now, some of those guys may be people that have it keyworded and saved so that they can get the alerts when these types of shirts go up. They will know the profit margins that they can pay for what they can resell it. Also, though, if you see a very competitive offer come in from a shop on eBay that probably has a brick and mortar, he's willing to pay like the online market value because he can charge more money in person for shirts because people are like emotional and they're there for the experience when they go to that person's place. So that did happen to me with a Kurt Cobain shirt. It sold really fast, but I looked at the guy's store. I mean, it was an impressive store. So I knew he was the guy that was going to get the most money for it, but I was really happy with what I got out of that Kurt Cobain shirt. We have Oasis t-shirt here. Now this was dead stock with the tag still attached. Now whenever you hear the word dead stock, it means that it was pretty much brand new, put away. It's dead inventory. It didn't sell out right away, or maybe it was just leftover inventory. You can't put a price on an item that was like stashed away in perfect condition. It really changes the game. Condition is everything when it comes to this. However, with these, if they are weathered and worn, sometimes that type of conditioning helps. It's almost like whenever you see a piece of like old metal and it has that patina, sometimes that adds value because of the age, and it actually went through some wars. It went through some mosh pits, some walls of death, That's something people can really, appreciate. And most of the guys wearing this, they're going to be dirty people anyway. They're not going to be very clean. They're not going to care if the shirt's got like a stain on it or two. You're going to make your money, but dead stock, you're going to make that collector type money with dead stock. We've got Cradle of Filth. I don't even know what to say other than it just looks disturbing. You got the priest there, you got the girl. Anything with an extreme image like this is going to command some money, so definitely look out for it. This one's a long sleeve, so like I said, it's not just short sleeves, it's long sleeves too. More iconic name here, we got the Rolling Stones. This is all the skeletons on the front, so it's pretty much an all-over print. They call it the Voodoo Lounge with all these skeletons, and yeah, Rolling Stones, any of the big names, AC/DC, we went over a bunch of them here already. Those are going to command more money just because it reaches more people, because that band has reached more people. False Prophets, punk rock. This one is pretty disgusting. It's got stains, like I said, and the white ones are going to have more problems a lot of the times, but that's still going to sell. It's on the Screen Star tag. Yeah, that's definitely one to look out for. Audio Slave, Chris Cornell. Now, see, this is one of the early 2000s. Now, take note. If you're in the early 2000s, say you got this as a teenager, right now you're probably in your late 30s, early 40s. That means those types of people having garage sales, maybe ask them, hey, do you have any old clothes like I could check out or something like that to see if you can get into that closet, because that's the person that's going to have this type of shirt. You can also find this shirt if you're dealing with an older like grandmother who has maybe their son's clothing or possibly even like their grandkids' clothing, which that's going to be newer. But yeah, early 2000 stuff, it would have been nice to know like, oh, that's going to be vintage soon. So kind of think like, maybe not buying a shirt that came out today, but if you see stuff from like 2010, maybe some of that Taylor Swift stuff, that's going to be worth some money now and later whenever it becomes like true vintage. So it's always good to kind of be forward thinking with some of this stuff, but you kind of have to have a big operation and some type of storage to be able to keep a bunch of shirts that you're hoping will like increase in value. But what I have known from the vintage t-shirt market is popularity ages well. I mean, they just do. It once it becomes vintage, people, they have that nostalgia, and then those people that used to like it back when they were younger, they now have money to spend on this type of clothing. Subhumans. This is that square print. This is a punk grunge band. So punk, grunge, rock, metal, anything in that category, anything with this style, because you can see, look, they have the font on the top of the square, and then they have like the cool graphic. Now, it's not an all-over print, but it still is very cool and very valuable. We've got a Jimi Hendrix one coming up here. So Jimi Hendrix is very iconic. I did sell a vintage brown Jimi Hendrix t-shirt. It had a hole across the stomach that was huge. It had paint stains, and I still sold it for $37. So if you can find anything Jimi Hendrix in good condition, vintage, you're going to make some money on it. Now, not every shirt is going to make multi-$100, but they will sell because there is a big following. I mean, people love music. Music is something that hits the soul. People are really passionate about music. And if you find one of their favorite artists from a shirt that they either remember or just think is completely awesome, they're going to spend the money on it. Outkast. I threw Outkast in there just because I like Outkast a lot. And yeah, this is 2000, so I mean, it's great. And you can kind of see they have more of a different style going into the 2000s as opposed to the 90s. Here's an all-over print Guns N' Roses. I mean, this is an incredible shirt. Like, even if this was just like a regular shirt from like that era, the 90s, and it had nothing to do with Guns N' Roses, it's probably going to sell anyway because of just how crazy cool it is. You're going to find a lot of these in the bins, like the rag houses is places where these are going to go. But also remember, people have these in their closets and like have them laying around. You just have to be able to access it somehow. We got Limp Bizkit. This is just a girl sitting here, but look at the script on it. I mean, it's screaming 90s. And I can already see here the giant tag, because it's got like that red eye for the giant guy, and very cool. It's got that good fade to it too. Whenever you see black shirts, like if it looks too crispy, it's probably not a dead stock. It's probably just like a repop or a new shirt. But when it has that beautiful fade, it means it's been through some washes. It's been through some age. Last up, we got Led Zeppelin. I tried to put a cool one on the last shot here, and this one is cool. It's got crazy looking colors. I mean, it's all over print. It's a beautiful shirt. Band tees are awesome, made in USA. That's what you're looking for. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's a little outside of my norm for men's modern type clothing, but you know, if you did like it, go ahead and like the video. Give me a comment. What was your favorite shirt? What's your favorite band? Have you made any crazy sales with these band tees? I know I've made one, that Kurt Cobain one I mentioned earlier. It sold for $200 in like 10 seconds. Maybe I undersold it, but I think the right guy was looking for it, and I was happy with 200 because I only paid a couple bucks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
No.